Heidi, you're so cute. Oh, I'm drinking protein because I need energy. And usually I would eat gummy bears because that's like an instant energy boost. And I ate all my gummy bears. So I'm sad. Oh well. That sucks. So back to what we're doing. Let me get a little comfortable. It's still raining outside and I went to walk my dog and I got wet. So anyways, she's running around like she's crazy. This video is an 18 plus video because the content that is going to be described is going to be very adult. So I felt like I should be allowed to curse. So anyways, at one time, a common tenet of the Protestant ethic was the hard, steady, and faithful performance of work would result in steady promotion and increase in salary. So when they say Protestant, do they mean the religion? I think they do. My dad is Protestant. That makes a lot of sense. No, it's not the religion. It's literally called Protestant ethics, and I've never heard of that ever. All right, I'm going to write this down. I've never heard of that. That's a new term for me. It's a really long definition. Oh, it's German. Die Protestante Ethik. Okay, so that makes more sense. It's a German word. It's not. I'm going to put the German word because I need to look it up. And I need to know what it means because sometimes German doesn't translate to English because they have more vocabulary that we don't have. And I think that this term is actually something completely different than what they translated it to be. Protestant. Isha. Meaning? Let's see how you say it.
Protestantisch.
I said it completely wrong. Protestantisch. Okay, so it is talking about the religion. Okay. Interesting. Protestant ethic. That makes total sense to me because that's my dad's view on life. He thinks that by working hard, he will achieve success. And I've always disagreed with it. So that's success to me is something completely different. My definition of like success is just being happy and being alive and living your life. That's successful to me. It doesn't have anything to do with monetary status. Okay. So I learned something new. Very interesting. You know, it's always great to learn new things, especially things that have to do with other languages. That's always my favorite. I think that's cool. Labor unions contended that this was an ethic designed to persuade the worker not to fight through unionization and the strike for higher wages and better working conditions. Why are they using the word ethic? That's not ethical. Let me look it up. You know, it's just, they use these words, you know, to make people, convince people that what they're doing is in their best interest. How is that in their best interest to not let people unionize and ask for higher wages? I need, just give me a synonym. Come on. Ugh. So the cinnamon, there I go again. Fairness. That happens to me sometimes. Like synonym, Eminem, yeah. Not my fault. Okay, so do I have a yellow one? No. I'm gonna underline this. Like the issues of political control and social reform, the issues of socialization in schools for the workplace calls into question whose values and attitudes will be instilled in the students. And those values are already instilled throughout history. Capitalism. Concern about the sorting and training of the labor is directly related to the development of vocational education, vocational guidance. Vocational guidance as a function of schooling developed in the United States in early part of the 20th century as part of a general reform movement to create a more efficient society. It was argued that one of the most inefficient aspects of society was the distribution and selection of human resources. Strikes and workers' dissatisfaction were seen as resulting from people being in jobs that did not interest them and for which they had no aptitude. In addition, human resources were not being fully developed to meet the needs of the labor market. Yeah. The early emphasis on vocational guidance, and certainly one of its lasting purposes, was the identification of student interest. That's always important. You don't want to force somebody to do a job that they're not interested in. that's a big problem with a lot of cultures, Asian parents in particular. And well, they're Indians are Asians too, so, and Indians. That's interesting. So I'm not going to read all of this like I was before. No. Okay. Go away. You have no business being here. No. Gio. Anyways, Rengo gets all over the computer and then he turns everything off. So the general goal for vocational guidance counselors has never been achieved because of the difficulty of training enough people to staff all the junior and senior highs who possess expertise in labor market analysis. Honestly, you don't need expertise in labor market analysis. You just need basic common sense and how to read numbers. This is ridiculous. So they mention it was difficult because they could not teach people expertise in labor market analysis, work analysis, testing, educational programming. Wouldn't that be common sense if you're in the education field dealing with children, that you automatically have that skill? And psychology. And this is where I'm going to bring in a little information about what I plan to do if I win, if I get nominated or whatever. As Secretary of Education, every teacher is going to be reevaluated. They're going to be tested for competency in the subject they're teaching. They're going to have to get another degree in psychology. And they're going to have to learn several other things. And they're not paying for any of this. Like, I will pay for it. I have my ways. But it just doesn't make sense. So teachers in America, I mentioned it before, they just need a teaching certificate. And once they pass that, they can become teachers. So there's a problem with that. Because you can be a complete asshole. You can be somebody with a criminal background. You can be somebody who is not good with children. And you're teaching children. And then you bring your attitude. Sorry, the cats are fighting. You bring your attitude to the children and you treat them like garbage. And then that has a domino effect. And it's damage that is a lifetime. So I would change this whole system and say they have to have a master's degree in education and psychology, a year of psychology, because that just makes sense to me. And then whoever can't do it, you're not going to be a teacher. So Too bad, so sad. Hey, stop fighting. I wish I had better lighting, but I don't. So anyways. Hey, stop abusing your sister. You butt. The job market retreated. Counselors got more and more involved in students' psychological problems. They're so dumb. So in 1950s, the National Manpower Council and Carnegie Corporation placed pressure on federal government to support training and guidance for people that would emphasize vocational guidance and labor market analysis. It was believed that the guidance had to get out of therapy and back into manpower planning. So then there they go again, spending their big money to influence education so that it benefits big corporations. It's just really just, I wouldn't say it's sad. It's just a blatant abuse of power. And that's fine. If you want to be an abusive person or entity, there's always consequences for every choice you make. Every choice and every inaction, there's always consequences. So the consequences are presented now, where the economy is collapsing. I have something in my teeth. Anyways. During the 1970s, vocational guidance expanded its role in manpower planning. I love how it's manpower. And vocational training, as it became part of the career education. Career education was born in the early 1970s as a response to apparent dissatisfaction with the education system. And that's really important to write down because it mentions unemployed graduates. Okay, this traditional controversy, I'm getting tired of sitting down because my back hurts. This traditional controversy has centered on whether vocational education should provide the future worker with a broad set of skills. There's always an importance in skills, broad set of skills, knowledge. Okay, that's something good. I have two pinks here. I forgot which one I was using. I think I was using, does this have a name? No, it's not its name in Japanese. I think I was using this one, but I'm gonna use this magenta. The National Education Association in 1918 supported development of comprehensive high schools with both college preparatory and vocational programs. Okay. Did you know that women can see more color than men? Isn't that crazy? I know that's a random fact. I know. Interesting. During the late 1950s, the role of vocational guidance and comprehensive nothing extraordinary in that last paragraph. Why am I taking this with me? It should be over here. Okay. In 1971 and 1972, in response to unemployment problems and the supposed breakdown of American education, the U.S. Office of Education initiated conferences and projects in career education. Like a fast-moving brush fire, career education entered public schools of the United States. Within 1 year, the Office of Education could claim that participation of 750,000 young people. Career education places vocational guidance at the center of academic planning and learning. During the elementary and junior high school years, career education is to be subject matter field that acquaints students with the world of work and the varieties of occupations available. Okay, so that makes a little more sense. So there's a problem with this. Yes, it's important to prepare people for careers, but if you don't prepare them for adult life, then they won't be able to be stable enough to have a career. So they're clearly not thinking like in a well-rounded way. And that's the problem with a lot of millennials and Gen Zers. Is it Gen Z or the Gen X? I'm sorry, I don't know which generation is after me. The young ones. Anyways, they don't know how to be an adult. Like they don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to fill out a resume. They don't know how to take care of themselves. So, it's really just a hot mess. The process of acquainting the student with a variety of occupations, blah, blah, blah. So now they're talking about that they wanted to teach every vocation that was out there, and because the public school system is so badly set up that some subjects would probably be taken away. And that happened when I was going in high school. They took away art. As soon as they lost funding, all the art teachers were fired and the music teachers were fired because they didn't see that as essential. And I totally disagree with that viewpoint. Oh, I don't know what they were doing. This is an easy fix. So instead of trying to teach everyone about every single career that's out there, teach practical education where you apply what you learn to real life. There you go. That's all you have to do. It is also questionable whether social scientists have developed the necessary methods for accurately predicting future labor needs and rapidly organizing vocational training materials to meet these needs. Even if the available methodology were to make this possible, would it be desirable? Yeah. And they mention laissez-faire economics, which is a French word, which I learned and I don't remember what it meant. I learned it years ago. Okay, that makes sense. And that is really stupid. Laissez-faire. Don't you dare come here. Don't you dare. Rango. Please. I'm studying. No. Yeah. Anyways. I don't know what's going on over there. So now we're moving into the 1990s. My life. All right. So let me take a little break. And I'm just going to look at some stuff. I'm just on Instagram. See what's trending or what type of art's out there right now. Ooh, I like that picture. Not much going on Instagram that I really. Whatever. So tomorrow's Monday, so it's meditation Monday. And it might rain, so we might do a rain meditation. Let us get in to the national goals for the 1990s. The nation. President George Bush proclaimed in his 1990 State of the Union message, will not accept anything less than excellence in education. For the first time in American history, a president of the United States announced a set of national goals for education that were to be reached by the year 2000. Oh God, sorry. The president's goal embraced some of the major purposes for the original establishment of public schools in the United States, and they illustrate the political, economic, and social uses of education. In addition, Bush's goals were a product of particular political process, which illustrates how schools are shaped by political forces. Oh, my dog's doing something. The goals were established in a cooperative effort between the Bush administration and the National Governors Association. For political reasons, I will explain later, educators did not have a major role in formulating these national goals. Isn't that funny? Can I help you? What? You want to sit on my lap? Okay. Come on. Ooh, you're wet. You smell. Are you comfy? Ow. Careful. Bah. Bah. All right. Stop. Okay. I need to read. You gonna let me read? Yeah. Ugh. I got a hair in your mouth. I got your hair in my mouth. Gross. Where are we going? 6 goals. Trying to read. Were jointly agreed upon by the Bush administration and the national government. Ow! Heidi, I'm trying to read. Go take a nap. Go. Play with your toys. Now you got fur all over me. 6 goals were jointly agreed upon the Bush administration and the National Governors Association. Briefly stated that 6 goals to be reached by the year 2000 are: all children will start school ready to learn. 2, high school graduation rate will be at least 90%. 3, students will demonstrate competence in critical subjects. 4, US students will be the first in the world in mathematics and science achievement. That has never happened ever. Every adult will be literate and have skills competent with the economy, in the economy. Schools will be free of drugs and violence. The major focus of these goals for the year 2000 is economic competition and international trade. So they had no interest in just improving the lives and education of the poor. They just wanted to compete in an international economic market. Isn't that nice? When these old, rich, white, cis male politicians manipulate your children, it's beautiful, like lovely. The major focus of the goals for that was sarcasm. The major focus of the goals for the year 2000, blah, blah, blah. Using economic language, Bush declared in the State of the Union message that investment in education, investment in education is always great, but not in those terms, will keep America competitive. That has never been true since I've been alive. What competition do we have? We're the worst education. I don't know, what's going on. Bush's concern with the link between education and international trade began in the 1980s when he served as vice president to Ronald Reagan. Series of reports issued and then oh my god, this chapter is gonna piss me off. Listen to this. A Nation at Risk is a book, and they declared, if only to keep and improve on the slim competitive edge we still retain in world markets, we must rededicate ourselves to the reform of the education system for the benefit of all. And then it proceeds to say, in the language designed to frighten the reader into supporting more money for public education, the commission warned, if any unfriendly foreign power had attempted to impose on America the mediocre educational performance that exists today, we might as well view it as an act of war. Hold on. I'm trying to find the words for this. They're going to blame another smarter nation for pointing out flaws that they clearly know exist, and they want to claim it as an act of war. I just want to laugh. What the fuck? What did I just read? I don't even know. I just want to cry. I think I'm literally just going to cry because that is just... I don't even know. I I mean, I know, but I don't even want to like go in there. I don't even want to try to explain this. I really don't. I'm going to leave a note for myself, and it's going to say fear mongering. And what the fuck? Because that's all I can say. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Sweet baby Jesus. Also in 1983, the Task Force on Education for Economic Growth, established by the Education Committee, blah, 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 Action for Excellence, which linked improved schooling to economic development. The task force primarily was composed of state governors and heads of American corporations. See how this is a freaking pattern? The people in control of the education system have nothing to do with education. They have everything to do with politicians, politics, corporations that benefit off the poor. Like, this is just fucking ridiculous. Corporations have no business in education. No business in education. So basically, what they're saying, they said the report of the task force warned of Americans' declining position in world markets as a result of increased productivity and efficiency of foreign industry. And that is because foreigners are way smarter than Americans. Especially in efficiency. And they said the answer to these problems, according to the report, was improved schooling to make the American labor force more efficient. The task force stated, it is the theses of this report that our future successes as a nation, our national defense. I love how they always put defense first. Our social stability and well-being and our national prosperity will depend on our ability to improve educational and training for millions of individual citizens. There's a word that I learned previously that I'm trying to remember. Let's look it up. No, that's not it. Am I thinking of this from another book that I read? Probably. It's pouring. Can't think of the word. All right. There's. Oh. Okay. So essentially, what they're saying is actually a masquerade to to seem like they have the best intentions for the American people, but they did not. They just cared about not losing in the economy. Masquerade. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Masquerade. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's from Phantom of the Opera. I don't know the lyrics. I just remember the sounds or whatever. Therefore, President Bush's educational goals for the year 2000 reflect a continuing concern with In addition, these goals reflect a concern with the general quality of the American workforce. Here we go. So, in the previous chapter, they talk about how education was to help bring equality and prevent poverty. But here we are in the 1990s, and President Bush's main concern is about the American workforce. He does not care about the poor. He does not care about the underprivileged. He just cares that the people that are working their asses off continue to work their ass off so that they don't lose interest in the stock market, etc. So what do you do? What do you do? I don't know. I'm going to continue reading. The two goals, the preparation of every child to start school ready to learn and increasing graduation rates to 90% are targeted for disadvantaged. And they quoted that. That's very interesting. No. Disadvantage is not the right term. And that's why the author of this book put it in quotations. Disadvantage. I wouldn't use disadvantage. The word that I would use is the word that I would use is manipulated. And I say that with a Spanish accent, sorry. Manipulated. You know, it's always important, like I keep mentioning on my channel, to use the right words. Disadvantage is not the right word. Through process of elimination and just facts in this book, that these people are not disadvantaged. They're manipulated by the system that's supposed to take care of them. Typical. Anyways, the emphasis on the education of the disadvantaged student is clearly stated in expanded explanation of these two goals. With regard to the goal of preparing children to enter school ready to learn, the final statement of goals explains all disadvantaged and disabled children will have access to high quality and developmental appropriate preschool programs that help prepare children for school. Concerning the goal of increasing high school graduation rates, the final document declares the gap in high school graduation rates in America's students from minority backgrounds and their non-minority counterparts will be eliminated. And how has this law helped now? I don't see any improvement. I don't see any elimination of any of these issues presented whatsoever. I actually see an increase in poverty and uneducated person. So what is the point of trying to change something and then not going through with the process to the end? That's a typical man thing to do, and I'm not trying to be sexist. This is literally what men do, is they never finish what they start. And I'm not saying all men. This is a generalization, but most men do that. They do something and they never finish it. I'm saying immature men, maybe. That'd be a better definition. The concern of President Bush and the National Governors Association, which I really don't give a shit about, disadvantaged students is a direct result of changes in the labor market that blah, blah, blah. All right, I have to go to the bathroom, but it's talking about baby boomers. So now it's talking about my parents. Anyone that was born before me at a certain age, a certain year. Ooh, this is the what? Damn. Oh! All right. I found some candy, which I need. I need it in order to stay sane. No, you cannot have candy. Don't give your dogs anything that has sugar in it, like artificial sugar, because like gum or anything, because that kills them. Peanut butter. You have to be really careful. Can't have synthetic sugar, because it will kill them. Oh, this is hard candy. Dang. Not a big fan, but okay. With the bust of the baby boom in the 1980s, there were fewer young people entering the labor market. And they're just giving percentages of how the labor market declined because nobody was of a working age. This is currently happening in Japan. Their population is 80% senior citizen. So as soon as they all transition, it's a nice word to say, pass away, their economy is going to be garbage. But I'm sure they're going to have robots by that time. Or at least I hope they do. That'd be pretty cool. That's what happens when you're more concerned of making a profit than actually having systems that are efficient, systems of care. Okay, maybe these are pretty good. I'm not giving you this. I'm not giving you any. Oh no, I dropped one. The response of business and industry to the baby boom and bust is twofold. On the one hand, there's a major concern with the decrease of qualified employees for entry-level jobs. This dwindling pool of workers threatens to drive up wages. It threatened to drive up wages. I gotta highlight that. It threatened to drive up wages. They see it as a threat to give people living wages. In response to the situation, business has increased its involvement in the schools in order to improve the education of those students who in the 1970s would have been marginal and unemployed. This is reflected in Adopt a School programs, Jobs for America's Graduates, local alliances between businesses and schools, and increased emphasis on career preparation. Michael Tipain, in his study for the Carnegie Corporation, Corporations and Public Education, I'm not even going to bother reading that book, detailed the extent of the new corporate programs and argued that the basic reason for them was the growing shortage of entry-level workers. That's bullshit. He stated for the first time in a generation, there will probably be in several urban locations. What do you mean by urban? Do you mean ghetto? An absolute shortage of labor supply for entry-level positions. Urban employers already report great difficulty in locating qualified employees for entry-level positions. Two of the other goals for the year 2000 are also related to educating the workforce and business involvement in schools. The reason given for the goal of students demonstrating competence in critical subjects is good citizenship and preparation for students for further learning and productive employment in our modern economy. In discussing the necessity of literate adult workers, the Bush administration and the National Governors Association proclaimed every major American business will be involved in strengthening the connection between education and work. That was a mistake. Or was it on purpose? Possibly on purpose. Let's look up the definition of literate. What does it mean to be literate? So, the definition of literate, as presented here, is able to read and write. So this is very lazy quality education, if you want to call it equality or anything. It's not. So he was only concerned that people were capable of reading something, signing their life away to a corporation, and working for the rest of their life. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Therefore, 5 or 6 goals for the year 2000 are directly tied to economic purposes of education. There you go again. We have to be concerned about the economy, so we have to influence kids at a young age to make sure that they work for the rest of their lives without questioning their corporate authorities, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? You're screwed. That ain't gonna work anymore. Therefore, 5 or 6 blah, blah, blah. The 6th goal, dealing with drugs and violence, is designed to make schools safe and achieve the social purpose of reducing the general use of drugs and alcohol. So I find this really interesting because that is one thing that they did right. Or they tried to do. But they failed in the other aspect, which was gun violence. And they absolutely, even though they had this implemented, they absolutely refused to do anything about that. And I can get into that whole reasoning, the whole reason why that they do that, or that they don't care, is because they just don't care. They don't care. They don't care about poor people dying. You know, they don't care. Where poor people are expendable. And that's unfortunate. Exactly. And this guy Joel Spring, he brings up a good point. He's asking, why would businesses be considered a logical partner in this objective? Why was there no mention of unions or churches? In fact, why was there no mention of participation by all citizens who pay taxes to support schools? I asked that same question. You know, I know the answer why. But I can't give you all the answers. Find them yourself. Anyways, the extensive and often unquestioned involvement of business in American schools increased at a rapid rate since the 1980s, along with the work of the Bush administration and the National Governors Association. Business involvement made economic purposes. A February 1st, 1990 article in the business section of New York Times opened, when it comes to reforming the nation's schools these days, the leading radicals are likely to be wearing pinstripe suits and come from oak-paneled boardrooms rather than ivy-covered walls of academia. I like that quote. That's what I like. And I'm going to put a sticky because I'm going to use that in something else. I don't know which one to pick. I'm going to pick the budgies. Look at these budgies sitting on each other. It's already 6 o'clock and I'm still not. Well, I think I'm on. I think I'm on a new chapter actually. Let me see. It doesn't have like chapter separations, like sections. So, excuse me. No, I am still on the first part. Whoa, wait. Okay, I'm not going to be able to finish this first section at all because it's so long. I have 2 more sections left. But I like this book so much that I don't want to like fly through it. So I'm just going to finish this section and then I'm going to I don't know. I'm probably just going to go relax for a little while and listen to some music. Business involvement in schools. Oh, wait, sorry. I skipped the whole part. After detailing business involvement in shaping the curriculum, managerial methods and organizations of the nation's schools, the article states the impetus behind the corporate embrace of education reform is concern about the quality of American labor pool. Yeah. Business involvement in schools raises a number of issues. Exactly. It is not necessarily true that what is good for American business is good for American schools and students. Exactly. The primary concern of business is the maximization of profits. What did I just tell you guys? I ain't some dumb. This can mean several things with regard to public schools. First, a major business expense is taxes. Business have a stake in reducing taxes, including taxes that support public schools. Majority of the Bush administration educational policies and the educational reform have been like increased spending on education. Sweet baby Jesus. This whole paragraph is very important. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that information. I have to write something. I'm just going to leave it at a highlight, and hopefully later I'll be like, oh, that's why I highlighted it and I'm going to use it for something. But anyways, they go on to say that this could mean that the middle and lower income groups could be paying an increasing percentage of public schools expenses, while businesses pay a decreasing percentage. So through tax manipulation, these businesses pay less, and then the poor and the masses pay more, but they're not involved in the process. That does not make sense. So this is in the past tense. This has actually come to current events. So this has happened, and is continuing to happen because Betsy DeVos is a son of a beach, and she has no interest in education. She just cares about money. She has no interest in children. She has no interest in the poor. She doesn't care about people in debt. She wants to increase payments to unaffordable amounts, and she's basically a corporate interest. And I can't wait. I just can't wait. If I ever meet her. Anyways, question can also be raised regarding financial donations made directly by businesses. All right, we're almost done. We're almost at the end of this section. Business profits also depending on the quality and expense of workers. As I discussed in the previous section, while businesses want educated workers, they also want workers who are compliant and loyal to the company. That describes America's business in America. If you are a foreigner and you're watching this, that is literally America. They want you to be compliant, and they want you to be loyal, and they want you to be struggling, so you depend on them. Should the public school emphasize the development of habits that will meet the requirement of business? No. They should not. Also, business has a stake in keeping down wages. Wages often depend on supply of labor. From the standpoint of business, the ideal situation for hiring is a large pool of applicants that will allow business to pay the lowest wage and select the best worker. Do 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 do. I'm just trying to let off some steam. Okay. Obviously, the situation does not help the worker. For example, in the 1950s, business put pressure on the schools to educate more scientists and engineers. And by the late 1960s, there was a surplus of scientists and engineers, causing low wages and unemployment. This situation worked to the advantage of the employer, but not to the employee. Oh, and that's the end of that chapter. What a beautiful book. I am so happy I found this. Or it found me, pretty much. I wasn't looking for this book. I was just looking at books, and then I saw it and I was like, what? And look how much so I've highlighted since the beginning, but I went a little crazy around this midsection. And I'm sure I'm going to keep going. The next chapter is politics and the goals of education. Oh, not the next chapter, the next section. We're not in the next chapter yet. Politics and the goals of education for the year 2000. The next one is liberals, neoconservatives, and critical theorists. And I'm interested about these neoconservatives. Conservatives. And then he gives you exercises. This is great. I love exercises. Let's see what it says. This chapter has focused major blah blah blah. Who or what group should determine the political teachings and political socializations? And I'm going to answer all these. I'm going to write a little paper after I'm done reading this chapter. And then he gives us a bunch of works cited and suggested readings, which I also love. I love that. I'm just crazy. And then chapter 2, which seems a little nicer. It's the profession of teaching. Yeah, this book is crazy. I don't know if I should continue doing this because there's really only... No. I'm kind of tired. If not, I will never stop. It will never end. Okay, so for now, I want to look at something that doesn't have to do with politics. And let's see what we have here around my desk. I actually have some books here. I have a book on math. And I used to hate math because, you know, people call me stupid and I just didn't understand the way they were teaching it. But now that I'm older and I study computer animation, I actually understand it pretty well. The only thing that I can't comprehend are, what are they called? Word problems. Like I can't understand that. Like I literally cannot understand when somebody's giving me a word problem. I'm like, I don't know. Like if you have to show me a different way because I don't understand the way it's taught. So, you know, like I mentioned before, not everyone learns the same. So you can't expect me to understand a mediocre way of learning. This is a pretty good buy. They have percentages, which I have to relearn because I'm terrible. Fractions, I hate fractions. I hate fractions so much. Oh, look, percent word problems. Oh, actually, they break it down. Okay, so this is how I can learn it. Oh, you see what I mean? So when word problems are presented in school, they're just like, here, take this word problem and figure it out. But in this book, which I'm so happy I bought, everything you need to know about math in one big fat notebook, it's telling you, find the word is, put an equal sign above it. This becomes the center of your equation. Like they don't teach that in public education. It's so easy. What the hell? Okay. I just learned how to do word problems. That's great. I don't have any bookmarks. You know, it's just so frustrating. The only time, I'll tell you a cute little story. The only time that I finally understood math was in college. I was in a remedial math class because I couldn't get big math scores, like high math. I just spilled all the candy. I have to clean that up because if Heidi eats it, I'll be back. Oh my god. I'm just gonna do it by hand. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Ah. I think I got them all. All right. Dang. I forgot what I was saying. Okay. So I was in a remedial math class, and my teacher was Chinese. I forget his name. And he taught it like he would teach somebody in China. And the way he taught it, like I instantly understood it. I was like, what have I been doing all my life? Like now I understand why I'm using this math because he related it to real life. You know, all these teachers previously, they'd just be like, learn this formula. You need to know it for the FCAT. You need to know it for your testing. And it's like, you know, like that doesn't process in my brain. So this sweet little Asian guy, which I love, because I told him I like Tai Chi, and he was like, "Oh, you should come learn with us. I have a group." And like he just, you know, it just snapped in my brain. Like, wow, our education system does not work. And you know, it was great. And now that I'm older, because this was like 10 years ago, I think. I apply math to real life, and that's how I understand it. Because if I just look at a formula, I'm like, I don't know what this is used. Like, I really don't understand. So with geometry, the same thing. Geometry can be used for carpentry, and that's what I use it for. Like right angles, degrees, and everything. That's how it should be taught, related to real life. I really don't care. Okay, so this is another one. In high school, I remembered that they always want us to learn planes, the coordinate planes. I don't know if they're called differently in other countries, but like it made no sense to me, like what we were learning, why we were learning it. Like nobody could explain why we were learning it until I got into animation. And in animation, you have the XYZ axis. And then I was like, oh, now this makes sense because I know what to do in XYZ axis, the 3D space, you know, where to put something, where to move it to a positive, negative. But if you're just teaching someone on paper, this is negative, this is positive, how does that relate to real life? I don't, you know, like that doesn't make sense. So, and I remember my math teacher had like huge tits. She had like big boobies. Like really big boobies. it just blows my mind how much I wasn't grasping when I was younger. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Like it's really crazy. If somebody were to go back in time and see me as a little me, they would probably say that I'm retarded. You know, because I was just like in another world. Like I was just somewhere else. And that was partially because I was going through severe emotional, physical, and psychological trauma. So I couldn't function, you know, I just I couldn't function. But yeah. It was really cute. They have really cute pictures. And what else is this? Rational numbers and the number line. I wish I had the literature one, which is the English. I think I have to go get that one. Let me look it up. Maybe I can get it for cheap. I didn't get it because like English was my best subject. Writing, English, literature, all that stuff. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, it's actually really cheap. How much did I pay for this? I paid $15 for this, and it's like $8 on Amazon. The heck? The heck? Whatever. It was worth it. Yeah, so I should probably get the world history one too, but I'm afraid that's like whitewashed. Actually, it's world history. I was thinking of American history. So, yeah, I understand a little bit more about math. So, you know, it's pretty interesting. What is this? I always find this random stuff. So I like to journal too. I haven't done that in like a few days. I'm almost done with this book. I have like 10 pages left. So what do I want to journal about? I don't want to talk about politics. I'm going to look something up. Journaling is a great way to process emotions and help with like depression and all that. It's also very calming to do that. Like if you have a stressful day and you need to just let everything out. I don't see anything really good. They have creative writing prompts for adults. I like that. Okay, so I want to do I'm going to do, because this is 18 plus, I'm going to do today's the last day of the planet because a flaming meteor is going to wipe us out at midnight. Describe what the day would be like. And I'm going to write it down so I can remember. Um, all right, so if I were to die, or if I knew I was going to definitely be dead by the end of the day, what would I do? I would do the same thing I do every day, honestly. Like, I just enjoy my life. And I wrote, this is what I wrote. Enjoy my life, be grateful for being alive, and go down like that guy in Pompeii who masturbated while being immortalized. That's what I would do. Let's see what else we can write. For one day only, you are the richest person in history. Describe your spending spree. All right, this one's more fun for me. All right. So I have the most money in the world. My first purchase. My first purchase would be to own Earth. My second purchase would be to own Mars. My third purchase would be to own what's after Mars? Jupiter? Every planet in our galaxy. After that, Since I own Earth, I own all natural resources. Therefore, they are protected. And I spelled protected wrong. I put something. Protected. I would buy NASA and SpaceX. I would buy artificial intelligence developed by top scientists. I would implement solar power technology above Earth. I thought about this a lot. I would invest in eco technology and distribute it for free to poor countries. I mean, there's so much I can do. I would build a international space station. With self-sufficient system. So that would involve an ecosystem on that space station, so nobody has to worry about oxygen or blah blah blah. Just common sense stuff, Oh yes, I need to buy the moon too, because I'm going to own that as well. Purchase the moon. And on the moon, I would do something that has nothing to do with anything. I would build the Sailor Moon Palace just because I want to. Just for shits and giggles. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm not going to go like super into detail. So the reason why I would do this is because once you purchase something in monetary value, you own it apparently. So I would own the whole galaxy, and therefore, if anyone pisses me off, I could say bye-bye. Not that I'm going to be like a dictator or fascist or anything. I'm chaotic good. So, but I'm concerned for the well-being of the planet. Because, that's the place where we live. And if we destroy it, that's it. I know people are like, we're going to go to Mars. and history is just going to repeat itself. If you go to Mars with the same attitudes and do the same thing that you've done on Earth, so by owning the whole galaxy, I can prevent people from making that mistake of thinking that they can destroy this planet and then move on to the next planet and destroy it and keep going. I'm not saying that I wouldn't like people to go to other planets, but it has to be in a conscious manner because we don't know what's out there. My personal beliefs through scientific proof, is there's other intelligent life. And based on what I just read, we stand no chance. So I wouldn't want to get on their bad side. So by owning the whole galaxy, I would not let anyone do something stupid. Natural resources, because I don't want people exploiting natural resources like they've been doing. NASA and SpaceX is because I love science and I love anything to do with that. AI, because I think AI is really cool. And if you don't take care of how you develop AI or what you teach artificial intelligence, it could be very bad for us. Solar technology above Earth just makes sense. I don't know why we haven't done that. Oh wait, I know why we haven't done that, because white guys are in charge. Anyways, eco technology just makes sense in the long run. To have green technology would just be so smart and so much better for the environment. But, the International Space Station is just, just so that, it makes sense. And for the moon part, that was just for fun. It was just for fun. Like, I would just build that. Like, I don't know if you guys know about the Taj Mahal. I would build something like that. So then once the human race is dead or whatever, another race will come and be like, what is this building? And there would be no reason behind it. I just built it because I felt like it. All right, let's see what else there is. There's just like really tiny writing and it's really annoying. There's a project that I've been meaning to do with my apprentice that I did in high school, where you get a really old book and you make it into art. Like each page is a different theme. And I made one, and my teacher loved it so much he kept it, so it's lost. And I really wish I had it, but that's just the way it is sometimes. I don't see anything interesting, so I kind of like this concept. Somebody's reading the Bible and they're writing like a quote that they like in really nice handwriting. I don't think I have a Bible. I just like quotes in general, so I really like this one. Nothing ahead of me is bigger or stronger than the power of God behind me. I like that. That's a really cute idea. Oh, this one's cool too. Well, I don't know. So this one's a bit really like really religious. I don't like religion to the point of blind faith. I think you should always question things. And when somebody is very, very extremely religious, I tend to be really cautious around that because it can be really dangerous. But this person made a really pretty piece of art, and I'll just show it to you. I might end up doing something like that, but not like.
Embarrassed by ugly toe fungus? FungiCure eliminates 6 types.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Toes get back to normal.
An ad just started. Anyways, so this is what they did. And it's actually really pretty. I like it. I think I'm going to make that into a poster. So yeah, that's it. I have an old book. I have 2 old books. They're veterinary books, medical books that I got from a vet. He's pretty up there in age, and they're really outdated. So I don't feel bad turning them into art. Also, because they have really graphic images, I can't stand gore or blood, so I'm not going to read them. So I think I'm going to do that for fun. I don't have any magazines though. Because what you do is it's like a collage in a book. You can paint, you can add pictures, you can print pictures, you put collages, you put magazines, and then you have this whole like beautiful work of art. And it's so much fun to do. Like if you're bored, I would do it. If you have kids that are bored, you do it with your kids. But that's it. This book, I don't know what's happening this week due to some legal matters that I'm involved in. I don't know what's happening. So I would like to concentrate on finishing this, but I don't think my week's going to turn out the way I want. So I'll do it probably on the weekend when I don't answer calls and finish it. I don't know. Let me see. So if I'm really determined, I'll wake up really early on Saturday at like 9 o'clock and finish it until the end of the day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned a lot. I learned a lot. And thanks for watching.